Hey, what's up everyone? GameDad here, coming at you guys with a brand new Let's Fix video. Now, if you follow me on Instagram at GameDad Show, then you'll know that over the past several months I have been working on a couple of new arcade machines that I picked up. One is the Nicktoons Racing, and that one I've kind of put on the back burner for now as I continue working on the Time Crisis 3 arcade machine. And I've gotten everything all set up, good to go with it, except for one thing: the Player One monitor just won't work. The tube is dead. So did a little research, found out that you can just take pretty much any old tube TV and do a quick swap, as long as it's the right size and it has the right pitch on the glass. So I went out hunting, found a TV that would work, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to do that tube swap and transfer that tube from an old TV into the actual monitor arcade chassis for the Time Crisis 3 machine. So come with me as we check out the tube swap. Alright, so as you can see here, I have the Time Crisis tube that is not working, not getting any power to it, anything like that. I've already checked the power connections and they seem fine in the cab. And right here I got a Philips TV, verified they are the same size, which means that the voltage going through them will be the same. They have the same neck board connector right on the back of the tube, so that's good. So real quick, we are going to check their horizontal and vertical, make sure that everything matches up. So right here you can see the screwdriver just hanging out right here with a solder lead running to the chassis. I went ahead and I already discharged both of these, but it's good to leave it in there just in case any static builds up. That way, you know, you don't get electrocuted. Always a good thing. So we're gonna get in here, test these, and let's see here. On this one, it's running about 2.4. That's good. Then we'll get down a little bit lower here, and we're running around 7. Okay, so let's check, make sure this one will match up as well. And it can be within 1. Let's see, that one, right around 7, perfect. Okay, let's check the other, and about 2.4, perfect. So these should be completely compatible, which is good. That means I don't have to change out the yoke, which is this area right here, because I've never done that and didn't really want to start today. So next steps, I already got the neck boards taken off. I already have the cathode connector out, or the anode connector, and what I'm going to do is disconnect the yoke from the board. That way I get my horizontal and vertical taken out, and we're good to go on that. Then we're going to go to the other one, and I have already actually disconnected those 2 wires right there for the horizontal and vertical. I'm going to go ahead and undo these little ground clips. Next steps here, I need to actually remove the tubes from their chassis and then start reconnecting things. So I'm going to give you guys a bit of a time lapse right now of me doing that. Alright, so I got the chassis all swapped. Now it's a matter of reconnecting the power, the horizontal and the vertical, getting the ground reattached, putting the wire back in, and then we'll throw it in the machine, see if it was a success or if there's something more deeply wrong with the machine than I thought. So let's go ahead and get these wires reconnected. I went ahead and left the original degaussing wire on this just so that it's the one that went with the original screen, the original tube. No reason other than that. I just didn't feel like swapping it. So a slightly different connector on the power, but luckily the pins fit up into the wires, so that's all good. All right, let's go ahead and get the horizontal and vertical reattached. All right, so ran into the first hiccup when I was going to attach the horizontal and vertical, and that is the old one used this long connector. The new one has these two separate ones. I'm gonna try and get them to fit onto there, but if they don't, that means I gotta snip these ends and put it onto this connector instead. So, gonna get a little more time lapse as I fiddle with this and see if I can get it to work. Alright, so it took some finessing, and by finessing I mean forcing a smaller connector onto a larger pin post, but they are connected in the same order that the previous connector was, so take that. Now I got my ground wire connected. I just got to hook this wire back up, and then we'll go ahead and plug in the neck board and see if things are going to work. Alright, so got that wire connected. We're going to go ahead and plug the neck board back in, and then it is going to be time to see if this thing will have new life. Alright, tube swap done. So I am going to get it back in the machine right now, and then we're going to plug it in and see if Time Crisis is working now. Alright, time to see if both of these screens will turn on. Let's find out. Well, the other monitor's tube is definitely turning on. I may have to do some adjustments on it, but that screen is definitely on. Let's see what happens when it finally kicks into gear. Oh, player 2 is loading up. Oh, and there it is, player 1. Oh, player 2 just shut off.
The sources believe it is only a matter of time before the island is complete.
Alright, so as you can see, got player 1 working. I need to fix the adjustments on it a little bit blurry right now, but second setback. In the process of hooking up this first player screen, I blew the second player screen somehow. It was working fine, and then it just died, and now the tube isn't coming on. Luckily, I have a second TV, so it looks like I'm going to have to do another quick tube swap and see if I can get the second screen working again. Alright, so did another tube swap. Got these both on. As you can see, they both need adjustments. Player 1 just needs a little bit of tweaking to its sizing, but is looking crystal clear. Player 2, obviously with the new screen, it needs a lot of adjusting. It's showing a lot of red and blue. It's not filling the screen, but at least it's on. So now I can start tweaking the adjustments, get to line up with the test patterns, and hopefully this will be done soon. So there you have it, everyone. That is the process of swapping an old TV tube into an arcade monitor chassis. Now the process was actually really straightforward. You do want to make sure you take some safety precautions, like making sure that you actually discharge that monitor. You can do it a couple of different ways. You can just let it sit unpowered for a long time. That'll get rid of the majority of the charge. However, static electricity around the tube can actually build that charge back up slowly. So you still want to make sure you're discharging. You want to use an insulated rubber handle. You can even wear some rubber gloves. You want to make sure, like I did in the video, I just ran some heavy duty solder off the metal of the flathead screwdriver down onto a grounding point on the chassis so that you are completely safe, because in my case it was a 27-inch monitor, so you got 27,000 volts. That is nothing to joke around with. But once you take those safety precautions and you have successfully discharged the monitor, you can go ahead and get everything all disconnected, swap everything out. And one thing that you'll notice in the video, I did make sure that all of the amperage and everything matches up for the horizontal and vertical of the screen. So if those didn't match up, then I would actually have to swap out the yoke, that whole part that's actually around the tube. Luckily, didn't have to mess with that. Didn't really want to have to dive in that deep, but luckily I didn't have to. And then once everything was all hooked back up, the monitor worked great. Now I will have to do a little more work, and you will see that in a future arcade machine video as I get it all put together, and you see everything from me picking up the arcade machine to all the work that I've done on it over these past few months, bringing it back to life. And in that process, part of what I got to do is some adjustments on the monitor. There is still some horizontal squish kind of going on, so I may have to replace some capacitors on the actual chassis motherboard that's in there, but shouldn't be too big of a deal. Now, if you guys liked today's video, please let me know down in the comments below, and while you're down there, please be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, as well as that little notification bell so you get an alert every time I get a new video coming out. Now, as always, I'm GameDad. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you later.